In the vast and unending tapestry of the cosmos, where stars are born and die in spectacular nebulae and galaxies spiral in eternal dance, there exists a multitude of civilizations, each unique in its own right. Among these, the jorgulans, a species renowned across star systems for their prowess in hunting and tracking, were on a mission that spanned the dark void of space. The jorgulan starship, the Predator's Gaze, was a marvel of engineering, designed not just for travel, but for the complex task of tracking and studying various life forms across the universe. Its crew, a diverse assembly of the galaxy's most skilled hunters, biologists, and tacticians, worked in harmony, driven by a common goal: to seek out and catalog the cosmos's most elusive and fascinating creatures. As the Predator's Gaze navigated through the asteroid belt of a remote star system, its sensors picked up an unusual signal emanating from a small, seemingly insignificant planet. The planet, catalogued as ZR-259 but known to its inhabitants as Earth, emitted a peculiar range of frequencies that piqued the curiosity of the jorgulan crew. Captain Vrex, the ship's commanding officer, was a seasoned hunter whose scales bore the marks of countless expeditions. His eyes, capable of seeing a spectrum of light beyond the human range, flickered with interest as he reviewed the data streaming in from the planetary scan. "Interesting," Captain Vrex murmured, his voice a deep rumble that resonated through the command deck. "This planet shows signs of complex biological life. Prepare for a closer examination. I want a full bioscan of the surface." The crew sprang into action, their movements a well-rehearsed ballet of efficiency and purpose. The ship's advanced sensors deployed, casting an invisible net over the planet's surface, analyzing the diverse life forms that called Earth home. Among the readings, one particular signal stood out. It was unlike anything the jorgulans had encountered before, a signature that hinted at a creature of remarkable uniqueness. The data was inconclusive, but the intrigue it sparked was undeniable. "We must investigate this further," Captain Vrex decided, his voice carrying the weight of command. "Prepare a landing party. We will go to the surface and see this creature for ourselves." The decision was met with nods of approval. For the jorgulans, the thrill of the hunt was not just in the capture, but in the pursuit of knowledge, in understanding the myriad forms life could take in the vast expanse of the universe. As the Predator's Gaze descended toward Earth, breaking through the blue-hued atmosphere, the crew members readied themselves for what was to come. They were experts in their fields, hand-picked for their skills and their ability to face the unknown. And as the ship landed in a secluded area, away from the prying eyes of the planet's native species, the jorgulans prepared to step onto a new world, eager to uncover its secrets. Little did they know that their mission would take an unexpected turn, challenging their perceptions of hunting, of life, and of the very nature of fear itself. With the stage set and the players in motion, the cosmic hunt was about to begin, and the Earth, with all its mysteries and marvels, was the newest frontier in the jorgulan saga of exploration. The Predator's Gaze settled gently upon the verdant landscape of Earth, hidden from view by the thick canopy of an ancient forest. The crew, clad in their environmental suits, prepared to disembark, their senses alert to the cacophony of sounds and the riot of scents that the planet's vibrant ecosystem offered. Captain Vrex was the first to step out, his feet touching the soft, fertile soil of Earth. His eyes, adapted to the darkest corners of the universe, adjusted to the bright sunlight filtering through the leaves. Around him, the crew members fanned out, their instruments at the ready, each one eager to document this uncharted world. The jorgulans were no strangers to alien worlds, but Earth presented an array of life that was both bewildering and fascinating. The team's biologist, Dr. Kirill, was particularly captivated by the biodiversity. "The genetic variance is astounding," she noted, scanning a simple fern with her device. "This planet is a treasure trove of biological data." As the crew ventured deeper into the forest, they encountered creatures of all shapes and sizes. Each sighting was meticulously recorded, from the smallest insect to the towering trees. Yet their mission was to find the source of the unique signal they had detected from space, a task that proved more challenging than anticipated. The signal's origin seemed to be on the move, leading the team through a maze of flora and fauna. It was during this pursuit that they stumbled upon a clearing where the unexpected awaited them. In the clearing stood a human, engaged in what appeared to be a leisurely walk. But it wasn't the human that caught the crew's attention. It was the creature beside him. Large, with fur and 4 legs, it exuded a presence that the jorgulans found deeply unsettling. This was the source of the signal, the creature they had been seeking. Captain Vrex signaled for caution, his instincts as a hunter telling him that there was more to this creature than met the eye. The team watched, hidden by the foliage, as the human interacted with the animal, displaying gestures of affection and companionship. Dr. Kirill, fascinated by the bond between the two species, whispered, "Their relationship is symbiotic, yet there's no fear. How is this possible?" The crew's cultural expert, Zorgath, a being who had studied thousands of civilizations, offered a theory. On many worlds, creatures form alliances for survival. But this seems different, more emotional, perhaps. The decision was made to observe and learn more. The Predator's Gaze's crew, trained in stealth and observation, watched as the human and his pet continued their walk, oblivious to the alien eyes upon them. As night fell, the team retreated to their ship, minds brimming with questions and theories. The encounter had opened a window to a new aspect of Earth's life, one that challenged their understanding of nature and interspecies relationships. Back on the ship, Captain Vrex convened a meeting. "This mission has taken an unexpected turn," he began, his voice echoing in the hushed chamber. "We came seeking a creature, but we've found something far more complex, the bond between life forms. We must delve deeper, understand this connection." The crew nodded in agreement, their curiosity piqued by the day's discoveries. Plans were drawn for further observation and interaction, with the goal of unraveling the mystery of Earth's sentient life and its remarkable relationships. As the Predator's Gaze lay hidden beneath Earth's starry sky, its crew pondered the unfolding mystery. Little did they know that their quest for knowledge would lead them on a journey that would blur the lines between observer and participant, forever altering their perception of life in the cosmos. With dawn breaking over the Earth, the jorgulans resumed their mission, the enigmatic bond between the human and the pet from the previous day fueling their intrigue. Captain Vrex decided on a more direct approach, believing that observation alone might not yield the depth of understanding they sought. "We will initiate contact," he declared, his voice resonant with determination. The crew, trained for a myriad of situations, prepared for their first direct interaction with Earth's inhabitants. They selected a remote location near the clearing they had observed the day before, ensuring that their presence would be as unobtrusive as possible. As the sun climbed higher, the human and his pet appeared once again, continuing their routine walk. Seizing the moment, Captain Vrex, accompanied by Dr. Kirill and Zorgath, stepped into the clearing, their appearance causing an immediate reaction. The human stopped in his tracks, eyes wide with astonishment, while the pet, a large, seemingly docile dog, growled softly, sensing the unfamiliarity of the newcomers. Captain Vrex raised a hand in a gesture of peace, a universal sign they had found effective in numerous encounters. "I am Captain Vrex of the Jorgulan," he spoke, his voice modulated to be gentle yet audible. "We mean no harm. We are explorers, seeking to understand the diverse life forms of this universe." The human, after a moment of hesitation, replied, "I'm Tom, and this is my dog, Buster. You're not from around here, are you?" The simplicity of the exchange belied the monumental nature of the interaction. Two species, alien to each other, communicating for the first time on a planet teeming with life. Dr. Kirill, ever the scientist, was fascinated by Buster. "May we learn more about your companion?" she inquired, her eyes fixed on the dog, who had now relaxed slightly, sensing no immediate threat from the strangers. Tom nodded, a mixture of curiosity and caution in his eyes. "Sure, but what do you want to know?" As the conversation unfolded, the Jorgulans learned of the human-animal bond, a concept familiar in structure, yet wholly unique in its earthly execution. They discovered that Buster was not just a pet, but a companion to Tom, offering loyalty, protection, and comfort. The crew documented every detail, from Buster's behavioral responses to Tom's explanations of training, care, and mutual respect. The revelation that humans and their pets could communicate, forming deep emotional connections, was a breakthrough in the jorgulan's understanding of interspecies relationships. Meanwhile, back at the Predator's gaze, the rest of the crew monitored the interaction, ensuring the safety of their comrades while analyzing the data being transmitted. As the meeting concluded, Captain Vrex offered a gesture of gratitude to Tom and Buster, symbolizing the beginning of a new chapter in jorgulan exploration. "Your planet is full of wonders," Vrex acknowledged, "and the bond you share with Buster is among the most remarkable we've encountered." With a promise to return and learn more, the jorgulans retreated, leaving Tom and Buster to ponder the extraordinary encounter. For the crew of the Predator's gaze, the mission had evolved from mere observation to an immersive study of the complexities of life and connection on Earth. As they returned to their ship, the team was abuzz with excitement and reflection. They had embarked on a journey to catalog the unknown, only to find themselves learning about the universality of companionship and care, an unexpected lesson from a planet teeming with life's endless variations. In the wake of their groundbreaking interaction with Tom and Buster, the jorgulans found themselves at a crossroads of curiosity and reflection. The simple yet profound bond between the human and his pet prompted a series of discussions aboard the Predator's gaze, with each crew member bringing their perspective to the fore. Captain Vrex convened a meeting to delve deeper into the implications of their discovery. "We've observed a multitude of species across galaxies," he began, his voice steady and thoughtful. "Yet the relationship between Tom and Buster challenges some of our core assumptions about interspecies dynamics. It's not merely about survival or mutual benefit, it's deeper, rooted in emotions and social bonds." Dr. Kira L., ever fascinated by the biological nuances, added, "The emotional connection we witnessed could have evolutionary benefits we've yet to understand fully. It's possible that such bonds enhance survival, not through direct means, but by fostering social structures and mental well-being." Zorgath, the cultural expert, pondered the broader implications. This discovery suggests that empathy and companionship are universal traits, potentially shared by many species across the cosmos. It opens up new avenues for understanding not just other species, but ourselves. The crew's discussions led to a decisive plan of action. They would initiate further contact with Earth's inhabitants, seeking to understand the range of human-animal relationships and their societal impact. With this goal in mind, they prepared for their next venture to the surface, equipped with new questions and a renewed sense of wonder. Their subsequent encounters revealed the diversity of Earth's companionship paradigms. They observed cats napping in their owners' laps, birds singing in response to human voices, and even horses and riders communicating in a silent language of movement and touch. Each observation added a new thread to the tapestry of companionship the jorgulans were beginning to appreciate. During one poignant interaction, the crew encountered a young boy who explained how his dog helped him through times of loneliness and fear. "He's my best friend," the boy said, his simple words resonating with a depth of meaning that transcended language barriers. These experiences culminated in a newfound appreciation for the intricacies of life on Earth. The jorgulans realized that the planet's biodiversity extended beyond physical forms. It encompassed a rich spectrum of emotional and social connections. As the Predator's gaze continued its orbit around Earth, its crew members processed their findings, each one affected in a unique way by the planet's vibrant life tapestry. They compiled their observations, preparing to share these insights, not just among themselves, but with the broader scientific community across the stars. The mission had transformed from a quest for biological understanding to an exploration of the emotional and social fabrics that bound different species together. Earth, with its myriad forms of life and complex networks of relationships, had become a beacon of diversity and unity in the vastness of space. The days following their enriched interactions with Earth's diverse inhabitants brought a subtle but undeniable shift in the atmosphere aboard the Predator's gaze. The crew, once solely focused on the analytical aspects of their mission, now engaged in reflective conversations about the emotional nuances they had observed. The depth of connection between humans and their pets had not just expanded their research, it had touched their own perceptions of companionship and empathy. Determined to explore this new avenue of understanding, Captain Vrex authorized a series of expeditions to various parts of Earth, each team tasked with observing and interacting with different human-animal pairs. The goal was to gather a comprehensive view of this phenomenon across various cultures and environments. In one such expedition, a team landed near a bustling city park, where they witnessed the communal joy of humans and their dogs playing together. The sight of diverse individuals and their pets enjoying each other's company and harmony offered a new perspective on communal living and shared happiness. Another team ventured into a rural area where they observed the partnership between farmers and their working animals. This interaction, rooted in mutual respect and necessity, showcased a different facet of the human-animal bond, emphasizing codependence and collaboration for survival and well-being. Meanwhile, aboard the Predator's gaze, Dr. Kirol and her team analyzed the data, noting the physiological responses in humans and animals during their interactions. The results indicated a mutual release of oxytocin, known as the love hormone, reinforcing the emotional depth of these bonds. In a different part of the world, a jorgulan team encountered a rescue center for injured wildlife, where humans dedicated their lives to the care and rehabilitation of animals. This altruistic relationship, where humans nurtured creatures without expectation of return, provided a profound insight into the capacity for empathy and compassion. The culmination of these expeditions was a gathering of the crew to share and discuss their findings. Each team presented stories and data, painting a rich tapestry of life on Earth that was far more intricate and emotionally driven than any of them had anticipated. As the Jorgulans prepared to take their leave from Earth, they realized that they were departing with more than just scientific data. They were leaving with a new understanding of the universal potential for empathy and connection. This realization prompted discussions about their own societal structures and relationships, sparking a desire to foster deeper connections within their own species and with others they might encounter in the cosmos. The mission to Earth, initially viewed through the lens of scientific curiosity, had evolved into a journey of emotional enlightenment. The Jorgulans, a species revered across galaxies for their intellect and strength, had uncovered a new measure of civilization's advancement, the depth of its being's connections with one another, regardless of species. As the Predator's gaze set its course towards the stars, the crew looked back at the vibrant blue planet they were leaving behind, knowing that the echoes of understanding they had found there would resonate in their hearts and minds long into their interstellar travels. With the vast expanse of space before them, the crew of the Predator's gaze journeyed back to their home world, carrying with them the profound lessons of Earth. The data and experiences from Earth were not just to be archived. They were to be presented at the upcoming Galactic Assembly, a conclave where civilizations from across the stars shared knowledge and insights. The assembly was held on the neutral planet of Xylaron, a hub for interstellar diplomacy and exchange. As the Predator's gaze entered Xylaron's orbit, the crew felt a mixture of excitement and responsibility. They were about to introduce a new paradigm to the galactic community, one that might reshape interstellar relations and understanding. Captain Vrex, alongside Dr. Kirol and Zorgath, prepared their presentation, synthesizing the essence of their findings into a narrative that would resonate with the diverse assembly members. They aimed to convey not just the facts, but the emotional and societal implications of the human-animal bonds they had witnessed. On the day of the presentation, the assembly hall buzzed with anticipation. Representatives of various species, some humanoid, others vastly different, filled the seats. The Jorgulans took the stage, their appearance commanding attention. Captain Vrex began, detailing the mission's initial objective and the unexpected turn it took upon encountering Earth's inhabitants. He spoke of the depth of connection between humans and their pets, illustrating his points with vivid holographic images and emotional anecdotes from their observations. Dr. Kirel took over, delving into the scientific aspects. She explained the mutual benefits of such bonds, showcasing the biochemical exchanges that underpin the emotional connections, and positing that such relationships could have evolutionary advantages that extend beyond the individuals involved. Zorgath concluded the presentation, reflecting on the cultural and philosophical implications. He posed challenging questions to the assembly. Could the capacity for such bonds be a marker of a civilization's maturity? What could other species learn from this phenomenon in terms of fostering empathy and cooperation, not only within their societies, but also intergalactically? The response was a mix of awe, skepticism, and introspection. Some delegates were moved by the idea of integrating such emotional intelligence into their societal models, while others questioned its applicability to species with different social and biological constructs. In the days that followed, the Predator's Gaze's crew engaged in numerous discussions and debates, defending their findings, clarifying misconceptions, and exploring potential implications. The concept of interspecies empathy, inspired by Earth's example, began to take root in the collective consciousness of the assembly. The jorgulans had initiated a ripple of change, challenging their peers across the galaxy to reconsider the nature of relationships and empathy. While the immediate impact was varied, the seeds of a new understanding had been planted, promising to influence galactic discourse and interaction for eons to come. As the assembly concluded and the delegates departed, the crew of the Predator's Gaze looked back on their journey with a sense of fulfillment and anticipation. They had not only broadened their own horizons, but had also offered the galaxy a glimpse into the profound power of connection and empathy, setting the stage for a future where such bonds could be celebrated and cultivated across the stars. After the Galactic Assembly, the crew of the Predator's Gaze embarked on their journey back to their home planet, their minds and spirits enriched by the experience. The dialogue they initiated at the assembly continued to resonate, sparking debates and discussions across various communication channels among the stars. The journey home was a time for reflection. The crew, once solely focused on the hunt and the acquisition of knowledge, now found themselves contemplating deeper philosophical questions about existence, connection, and empathy. The mission had transformed their outlook, encouraging them to consider the intrinsic value of the beings they encountered, not merely as subjects of study, but as entities with whom they shared a fundamental kinship. Captain Vrex, who had led countless missions across the cosmos, found himself particularly affected by the transformation. He spent long hours gazing at the stars, pondering the countless forms of life and consciousness that must exist among them. The lessons from Earth had not only expanded his scientific knowledge, but had also touched his soul, instilling a sense of wonder and responsibility towards all life forms. Dr. Kirel, too, experienced a shift in her scientific pursuits. Her research, once driven by a quest for empirical data, now incorporated a new dimension of understanding the emotional and social complexities of living beings. She began drafting plans for future missions that would explore these aspects, convinced that this approach would unveil deeper insights into the fabric of life in the universe. Zorgath, the cultural expert, took it upon himself to document the mission's experiences and findings, crafting a comprehensive report that would be shared across jorgulan academia and beyond. He believed that the story of their journey and the lessons learned could inspire others to view their interstellar neighbors with new eyes, fostering a culture of empathy and cooperation. As the Predator's Gaze approached their home planet, the crew prepared to share their transformative experience with their own kind. They anticipated skepticism from some quarters, as their findings challenged long-held beliefs and scientific paradigms. Yet, they were also hopeful, knowing that their mission could be a catalyst for a broader evolution in their society's approach to other life forms. Upon landing, the crew was greeted with curiosity and fanfare. Their mission had garnered attention, and their peers were eager to learn about their discoveries. In the weeks that followed, The crew members participated in numerous debriefings, presentations, and discussions, sharing their insights and advocating for a new direction in their civilization's exploration of the cosmos. The impact of the mission extended beyond the scientific community, touching the hearts and minds of the broader public. Stories of the human-animal bonds observed on Earth resonated with many, sparking conversations about the nature of their own relationships with the various species on their planet and beyond. As the crew of the Predator's gaze adjusted to their routine lives, they remained changed by their journey. They continued to advocate for missions that emphasized understanding and empathy, contributing to a gradual but perceptible shift in their society's stance towards other beings. The legacy of their mission to Earth became a beacon, guiding future explorations and interactions with other civilizations. The crew's journey had not only broadened their scientific horizons, but had also sown the seeds of a more compassionate and interconnected galactic community, marking the beginning of a new era in the cosmic saga of the Jorgulans. As the influence of the Predator's gaze's mission rippled through Jorgulan society and beyond, a subtle yet profound transformation began to take root. The crew's insights into the depth of human-animal relationships on Earth catalyzed a reevaluation of interspecies interactions across the galaxy. The concept of empathy, once considered a soft variable in the equation of civilization, started to emerge as a fundamental aspect of interstellar diplomacy and exploration. The Jorgulans, renowned for their scientific prowess and analytical approach, found themselves at the forefront of a new movement that championed the integration of empathy into all spheres of life. Educational curricula were revised to include studies on interspecies empathy, encouraging young Jorgulans to view the universe through a lens of compassion and understanding. The ripple effects reached the Galactic Assembly, where the discussions initiated by the crew's presentation continued to evolve. A new committee was formed, dedicated to exploring the principles of empathy in interstellar relations, drawing upon the experiences shared by the Jorgulans. This committee worked towards establishing a set of guidelines that would encourage empathetic interactions as a standard practice during planetary explorations and first contacts. On a more personal level, the crew members of the Predator's gaze became ambassadors of the empathy movement. Captain Vrex, once a stoic figure, began to engage in public talks, sharing his transformative experience and the profound lessons learned from the simple yet powerful connections observed on Earth. His speeches, often filled with reflections on the nature of life and consciousness, inspired many to reconsider their own relationships with other beings. Dr. Kirel, leveraging her newfound perspective, initiated a series of collaborative research projects with other species, aiming to explore the emotional and social complexities of various life forms. Her work shed new light on the intricate web of life that spanned the cosmos, highlighting the universal threads of connection and empathy that bound all beings. Zorgath, with his deep understanding of cultural nuances, played a crucial role in translating the mission's findings into actionable insights for both the Jorgulans and other civilizations. He worked closely with diplomats and cultural liaisons, infusing the principles of empathy into the fabric of interstellar communication and exchange. As time passed, the legacy of the Predator's gaze's mission continued to grow. The story of their journey and the profound connections they witnessed on Earth became a beacon, guiding not just the Jorgulans but other species as well towards a more empathetic and interconnected existence. The universe, with all its diversity and complexity, seemed a little more comprehensible and a little less daunting when viewed through the prism of empathy. The Jorgulans, once hunters and gatherers of data, had evolved into harbingers of a new era, where understanding and compassion were seen as keys to unlocking the true potential of the cosmos. And so, the Predator's gaze, now a symbol of this new paradigm, embarked on its next mission, carrying not just sophisticated instruments and analytical minds, but also hearts open to the endless possibilities of empathy in the vast, star-studded expanse of the universe. As the Jorgulans embraced their new ethos, the galaxy watched in anticipation. The Predator's gaze, once a vessel of pure exploration and study, had now become a symbol of the burgeoning empathy movement, its mission evolving to serve as a bridge between species and cultures across the cosmos. The crew, now celebrated not only for their scientific achievements, but also for their role in fostering a deeper understanding of interspecies relationships, embarked on a new mission. This mission, however, was different. It was not just about exploration. It was about connection, about weaving the threads of empathy through the fabric of the galaxy. Their first destination was a planet known as Viridia, home to a sentient species that had just made their leap into space travel. The Jorgulan's approach was cautious yet open-hearted, mindful of their newfound principles. They aimed to establish a dialogue with the Viridians, sharing knowledge and friendship rather than merely observing from a distance. As the Predator's gaze entered Viridia's orbit, the crew prepared for their first encounter. They were greeted with curiosity and a hint of apprehension, as the Viridians had never before interacted with beings from another world. The initial communications were tentative, each side striving to overcome the barriers of language and context. But as the days passed, the walls began to crumble. The crew shared stories of Earth and the profound connections they had witnessed there, using these narratives as a universal language to convey their intentions and their spirit of kinship. The Viridians, in turn, opened up about their own culture and relationships, revealing a rich tapestry of life that resonated with the Jorgulan's recent experiences. The exchange was not just informational, it was transformational. Both species found common ground, not in the specifics of their biology or technology, but in their capacity for empathy and connection. The Jorgulan's mission had come full circle, as they now facilitated the same kind of interspecies understanding that had so profoundly impacted them on Earth. As the Predator's gaze continued its journey, its crew no longer viewed themselves as mere observers or collectors of data. They were now ambassadors of empathy, champions of a movement that sought to bridge the distances between stars, not just with technology, but with understanding and compassion. Their legacy, seeded on Earth and nurtured through their travels, began to bloom across the galaxy. Stories of their journey inspired other species to re-examine their approach to exploration and contact, fostering a new era of interstellar relations based on mutual respect and empathy. And so, as the Predator's gaze set its course toward the next star, the crew looked out into the vastness of space with a sense of purpose and hope. They had witnessed the power of empathy to transform not just individuals or crews, but entire civilizations. The cosmos, once a place of infinite unknowns, now felt a bit more like home, a vast, interconnected community where understanding and compassion were the keys to unlocking the true potential of the universe. In this new frontier, the Jorgulans were not just explorers or scientists. They were pioneers of a galactic renaissance, leading the way toward a future where the stars were not just points of light in the sky, but beacons of connection and understanding, guiding the way toward a more empathetic and united cosmic community.